So there was this supposed contentious media press conference right after the last debate, but really Matt Bevin handled the press like a boss, like an absolute champ. Okay, so Sam Youngman he's a goddamn bully. He's an asshole. Okay, so Sam he's straight up an asshole. And he refused to answer any more questions from Sam Youngman, and Sam Youngman, who's the political reporter from Lexington Herald, just, shits a brick. He just acts like a little child, right? A little spoiled child not getting his candy bar at the supermarket and just starts a temper tantrum. And eventually it just starts asking really aggressive questions.
You accused Attorney General Conway of lying.
Any questions?
You said that are you not taking my question?
No. Any other questions?
What do you have the temperament to be governor if you can't take questions?
I do. I'm taking a lot of questions tonight, just not from you tonight, Sam.
And your reason?
They were actually treating Matt Bevin, reminded me of the question that they asked to Ben Carson at the Republican debate last night. It wasn't his website. They was using his image and his likeness, and he was explaining that to the moderator. The moderator then asked him, well, does that say anything about your judgment or your ability to get things done, your character or something like that? Sort of like the temperament or character question that Sam Youngman had asked, and immediately the audience understood that it was an attack question. It was an attack on his character, his temperament, his mind, his ability to, think and process, and rightfully so, the crowd got pissed off, started booing the moderator, and Ben Carson just said, they know. The people know what's going on here, okay? So, and it got a huge response, from the audience for him doing that, because that's an insulting, condescending question. It's obvious.
Sure, you were on the homepage on their website with the logo over your shoulder. If somebody put me on the homepage, they did it without my permission. Does that not speak to your vetting process or judgment in any way? No, it speaks to the fact that I don't know that. They know.
So quit asking stupid questions. Quit being lazy and obnoxious. Shit.
Why? Any specific reason why?
What did you mean by outcomes-based funding, like scholarships, stipends, grants, what exactly?
Yeah, again, it's STEM degrees, we understand what those are. We want certain technological degrees, science, technology, engineering, math. If we want these things, we want people to study them. We want people to be incentivized not only to get these degrees, but to get them in a timely manner, to move in a progress toward timely graduation.
So it says he's not going to take any questions from Sam, and then he takes a question from another reporter who was asking him questions about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And then he starts to explain about how there's been $173 million cut from Kentucky state-funded colleges, and that Matt Bevin will finance the state colleges by looking at the results. As long as the colleges are successful, then he'll work to get them money. Then, right after he answers the question about STEM, someone asked about the early childhood education. So if, the press doesn't want him to get testy, stop asking stupid questions. But this is what the media does. They are lazy. They are obnoxious. And all they want to do is sort of probe until you fucking flip out. In the very beginning, they were fawning over Matt Bevin. They couldn't wait. They would line up in single file lines waiting to get, to talk to Matt Bevin, get in their little press huddle and try to wolf pack them, right? Just a bunch of little, pompous ass bullies.
Talking about.
You said you and Conway largely agree on the value of early childhood education, but you differ on the method of delivery. Can you tell us about your method or your preferred method of delivery?
I did. I talked about it tonight twice, actually, and I've talked about it in every other debate. I'm talking about finding alternatives to, there's an assumption on the part of many that the only thing that passes for early childhood education in this country is Head Start. That's a false assumption to make. Head Start is a vehicle. It is one that we have as taxpayers spent nearly $200 billion on since its inception some decades ago. But it is not the only method, and in fact, variations on that theme and other things as well, such as this Success by Six program working with Skyward. It's a pilot program right now in the Erlanger school system.
So, they asked the stupid questions. So Sam Youngman like a corporate rapist whore, forces his will onto Matt Bevin. You will answer my question whether you like it or not. So he's actually being a bully for all the other press, writers, because he's forcing his question, getting his questions asked, while everybody else is going to pay for Sam Youngman's crime. Be safe out there. Halloween. Never know when you'll get nickel-backed. And then, right after they said that they won't answer a question from Sam Youngman, immediately Sam Youngman fires back about does he have the temperament or the character to run for governor? He had that locked and loaded. He was ready for that response. Do you have the temperament or the character to be governor? What kind of question is that? Do you have the temperament and character to be a reporter who, isn't a goddamn bully, isn't, a corporate whore who has to just print something because the media cycle forces you to say something even if there is no news happening? And also you're a corporate, a whore, so you're pro-corporate, you're pro-big money, you have the old traditional style of politicking where you assume Drew Curtis doesn't matter just because he doesn't have a huge war chest in order to pay for advertisements. There's more to elections than just a big war chest. Bernie Sanders, in fact, he says that we don't have the money, we don't have the media, we don't have the powerful people in positions in order to get what we want, but what we do have is the people. And in a democracy, that's all that matters. It's all that matters. So these self-important, braggadocio, professor, snobby, stuck-up, type of people, they think their shit don't stink, and they go around asking bully gotcha questions, and then get all pissed off when, he's sick of the fucking dumb questions. You're trying to do gotcha all the goddamn time. You disagree with him on something. Matt Bevin has a good barometer to just listen to the tone of a question. Do you have the temperament or the character to be governor? You got the temperament or the character to be a reporter.
But frankly, it's proving to be very, very effective. And it is things like that that I intend to focus more of the taxpayer money on.
6 days ago, your running mate said it was a non-issue. She said it was not on your radar screen.
Maybe you've misunderstood the comment I made earlier. You had a follow-up.
Why won't you answer Sam's questions?
Because this gentleman has a follow-up.
Well, how won't you answer Sam's questions?
I think I've made this clear that I'm not taking questions from
Why not?
Again, because I'll tell you what, at this point there are any number of questions that you all have. If you have questions to ask, I'll be happy to answer them.
I'm asking you right now that you're not happy to answer.
Shut him out. You can shut any one of us out later.
It could, but there's certain people who have certain reasons. We've had conversations. I've had a private conversation with him. I've had a private conversation with Joe.
When did we have a private conversation?
We have as well.
That's rude. That's mean. And so he rightfully got mad about it. After they all started jumping on him, Sam Youngman's an asshole. After everybody started interrupting him when he said that he had a private conversation, and maybe not a private in a secret room conversation, but a one-on-one private, this is me and you talking, Sam Youngman. Of course, he's had one-on-one interviews with Sam Youngman, but Sam Youngman, being the temper tantrum bully that he is, persists and keeps on going and asks, that's the final question, when finally pissed off Matt Bevin to leave the press conference. He goes, when did we have a private meeting? A private meeting? You're being an asshole. You're being, you're really, the nuance, what you need a nuanced perspective. You know what he meant. He's saying that he's given you ample amount of time. He's answered all your questions throughout the campaign trail, and now, you want to bully him because it's the last opportunity that you get to bully him after the debate. Now Tuesday's coming right around the corner, and he's got to get some material to print up for the newspapers, and eventually, some of them did say how he got rude because, he insulted these veteran reporters. Al Cross even asked a silly question.
You said in the debate that...
Gentlemen, let me ask you all a question, and ladies. Do you have questions about the debate?
Yes.
Do you have questions about the future of Kentucky?
Yes.
Can you point to a spot in the Deloitte study where it refers to the cooperative, because I just did a search on it, and
talks
there's
about
no reference to the co-op.
Of course there's not. That's a silly question, and you know it, Al.
It is not a silly
question. It is,
question.
because they don't refer to
And
any
what is
of
your
the
answer?
providers. They don't refer to any of the providers.
Then what did
They
you
refer
mean
to
by that?
because it's about numbers. Then when they talk about whether or not it pays for itself, it makes assumption based on the inputs, the number of people who are participating, the number of people who are paying in, the number of subsidies coming from both the federal and the state level. Those assumptions have been thrown completely out of balance. The numbers they use, the inputs they use in that study, are the very inputs that have been completely turned upside down.
Well, the basic
by the
inputs are
failure
how
of
many
the health
people are going to be
cooperative.
on Medicaid. This, we're talking about private insurance.
Exactly.
What does
which
that
accounts-
have to do with Medicaid?
It accounts for 100,000 of the roughly 500,000 people that have signed up. 51,000 of them, the majority of them, have just been thrown off health.
But there are 7 other providers they can get health insurance from.
They can, but where are those taxpayer dollars going to go? You do understand
The
that there has
taxpayer
been-
dollars are federal dollars, not state dollars.
My gracious. Truly, Al, if at this stage in your life, you don't have the understanding that these federal dollars are our dollars. They're
Well,
our
sure,
money.
they're our dollars, but you're running for governor, not president.
You don't need to yell.
No,
You're
I need to make clear to you, you're running for governor, not president.
You're standing very close to me, and you can make that clear by speaking in a normal voice. Any other?
Al Cross is making a big point about his health care and his explanation with his health care, and he's actually right for doing so. But when he says you're running for governor, not for president, well, that's obvious. Matt Bevin knows that he's running for governor, not for president. Al Cross's point is that the tax money that Matt Bevin keeps quoting is for national politics and not state politics. So, you should, ask a good question and get the, answers. If he doesn't answer the question, then, you just have to say he didn't answer the question. So, they get tough with Matt Bevin, private citizen who's trying to be a high-impact politician when he becomes governor. But they never asked Luke Pridemore any tough questions. He's killed 2 citizens. They've never asked any of the political white-collar mafia, any of the people that covered up, there was Tyler Brockman. So they never asked Tyler Brockman any hard questions, or Luke Pridemore, or their superiors, or their bosses, or anybody else that covered their murders up. They killed people. They are public officials who are donning a uniform and a badge, but still they are walking around free. And we're chasing Floyd or Ray Cook, for some meth charges or something, all across the United States, into Tennessee and Kentucky. But when it actually comes to public officials getting asked the hard questions, we're not asking the public officials any hard questions. We're going after private citizens who's running for office. So, I think it's pathetic.
Questions?
You said early childhood education is a priority. 6 days ago, your running mate said it was a non-issue, quote, that was not on our radar screen. Do you not agree? Does your running mate not agree with your philosophy on this?
Again, I will not speak for her, and nor does she speak for me. What I've said tonight is very clear, and my comments are absolutely crystal clear as it relates to my focus on early childhood education, including to the point that you just asked as well.
Siri, Jeff Conley here. I have a problem. I love Obama's liberal agenda, but it's very unpopular.
I'm sorry, you're a liberal, Jack.
I supported Obama's job-killing cap-and-trade bill, but Kentucky doesn't like it.
You're still a liberal, Jack.
I'm desperate. I supported Obamacare, and it's killing my campaign. What do I do?
Silly Jack, you're not fooling anyone. Time for an upgrade. Matt Bevin for governor.
It's interesting. 40,000 people actually were in favor of a more progressive agenda than Jack Conway's. So 40,000 voters in the primary, which will no doubt be 40,000 voters in the general election. So, I don't know. Matt Bevin ain't conservative. He ain't conserving the status quo. He will completely change Kentucky. He is the candidate of change. He will liberally change Kentucky. And he's a bigot. It's the temperament or character also that he's an authoritarian. What kind of governor would get in there and just sort of be a limp-dick governor? All right, they get in there and they just let everybody bully them around. They don't have any of their own vision, their own eyes. Just like when he handled the press, he handled them like a boss. Like a boss. let's get back in focus. Do you have questions for me? I'll answer your questions. I don't want to talk about this. Sam Youngman's a bully. Fuck Sam. He's an asshole. Fuck him. That's what he was trying to say, but they kept on wanting to come back. Well, why are you picking on Sam? Sam's my friend. He's an authoritarian. I don't know of any authoritarian cops, principals, teachers, bosses that aren't dicks, that aren't saying, hey, do this and fuck off. I don't care about your, your humanity or your dignity. I'm the boss. Shut your mouth. So I don't know any authoritarian person that's not a total dick, and this is very lightweight. He stayed calm, kept his mood, kept his mood in check, and I think he did a very good job and exited it, when was most conveniently appropriate. They were being a bunch of bullies, and so the press won't, police themselves like they pretend that they police everybody else.
What's the difference between Success by 6 and Head Start? Like, what do you think makes Success by 6 and similar programs
Success
better?
by 6 is, understand this, there's no magic bullet, there really isn't, and Success by 6 is systemic throughout the United Way. It's not just unique to Northern Kentucky. It's a program that United Way has sponsored in a number of communities. What I'm saying is they looked at the fact that in Northern Kentucky, where they're putting 5,000 kindergartners a year into the public education system, and that 2,800 of them are prepared. That's an issue. 2,200 utterly ill-prepared. And so what these two individuals have done, or two organizations have done, in combination, have said that by 2020, we'd like at least another 1,000 of those 5,000 to be ready. So rather than 2,800, at least 3,800 being prepared. Even they recognize there's no perfect solution. It is that, I think, that we need to look for more of, which is find ways to get the best return on investment. Where can we get the best bang for the taxpayer's buck? Any other questions?
Did you just say that your running mate does not speak for your ticket?
I did not say that. I said she does not speak for me. Again, listen carefully. Any other questions?
To the debate.
So, yeah, that's to the press, for Kentucky's press. You don't want Matt Bevin to be rude to you. Quit asking condescending questions. Quit asking stupid questions. Quit asking gotcha, lazy, and obnoxious questions. Do some damn research. Have some principles and, just policies. Which one of these candidates will have the best policy versus, the other candidates? The whole fucking campaign trail was, embarrassing. We're not talking about actual policies here. It's a fucking show. It's a reality show, and maybe that's what the press, Kentucky press, just realized, that they were willing participants in this reality show. So that's my take on Matt Bevin's exchange with the reporters after that last debate.
Does your running mate not agree with your philosophy on this?
Again, I will not speak for her, and nor does she speak for me. What I've said tonight is very clear, and my comments are absolutely crystal clear as it relates to my focus on early childhood education, including to the point that you just asked as well. Yeah, no, this is, here's the thing. Okay, I've now taken a question from you, one from you, and one from you. Any other questions from anybody else?
When did we have a private meeting?
Did we have anybody else have questions?
And you just told all these cameras you and I had a private
conversation.
When did that
Good luck
happen?
to you. Thank you.
Because I wasn't there.
Appreciate it, guys.
So there's a Success by 6 years old program in Northern Kentucky. It's, Success by 6 is a national United Way strategy in more than 350 cities across the country, all focused on improving school readiness through local community change. While local strategies, goals, and objectives vary, the ultimate outcome is that young children enter school ready to succeed. Matt Bevin had brought Success by 6, the United Way strategy, up as an alternative to Head Start. The plan is to get young people ready for school. So he's saying if Head Start can do that, or if Success by 6 can do that, whatever makes them ready, whatever makes them, prepared. So he brought that up. That's a little bit about Success by 6. Research shows that in the first 5 years of a child's life, the brain grows faster than at any other period. The people who have the most influence in building this strong foundation are parents and other caregivers with whom the child spends the most time. The loving care, positive learning experiences, and supportive environments they provide make a child feel secure and safe, all extremely important in nurturing a child's brain growth and development. In Southwest Ohio and Northern Kentucky, Success by 6 is working with numerous stakeholders: United Way of Greater Cincinnati School Districts, business community, local nonprofit agencies, parents, community leaders, and public agencies to raise awareness about the importance of the early years and to make early childhood a top priority for resources and funding.
Any other questions?
Did you just say that your running mate does not speak for your ticket?
I did not say that. I said she does not speak for me. Again, listen carefully. Any other questions?
Debate.
Questions?
You said early childhood education is a priority. 6 days ago, your running mate said it was a non-issue, quote, that was not on our radar screen. Do you not agree, does your running mate not agree with your philosophy on this?
Again, I will not speak for her, and nor does she speak for me. What I've said tonight is very clear, and my comments are absolutely crystal clear as it relates to my focus on early childhood education, including to the point that you just asked as well.
You know, so quit asking stupid questions. Quit being lazy and obnoxious. Shit.